So for my discussion this week, when we were trying to find, I've got my questions here, um, two new advances in innovation or technology. Um, I went for tech. I guess it's also innovation um, because my husband tends to watch CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. And just this past year, I saw so many new innovations that were meant for the health to be more assistive technology. Um, a couple of things that I saw deal with something that uh, or he struggles with, which is dyslexia and just understanding words. So reading for him is really difficult. So there is this company called LexiLens. They're a French company, and what they've kind of created is, to me, it's a little mind-boggling, but I think they're really neat. To kind of show how they work, I found a quick I have a couple of them, little video, um, short little snippet that just explains um, how they work. And I thought I'd play that and then you can kind of see and then I can discuss it a little bit more.
How did you come up with this?
There was a scientific discovery, academic research in 2017 that was awarded by the French National Academy of Medicine. And since then, we've been working together. We did R&D. And it took us 3 years of R&D to design and engineer the glasses, for which we got an award in 2020. And this year we're back with the screen, computer screen, that embeds the same technology, but natively. That is, you don't need an additional device. You look at the device and you can read instantly. Over the past 2 days, we had several gentlemen passing by and saying, that's something's weird, I can read. Usually I can't, and here on the screen I can. And that's what it does. It just removes the internal crowding, so you can not only can you read more easily, but also you understand as you read.
So that talked about the new screen that they are advertising, like a computer screen, but the glasses do the same thing with the overcrowding. And it's meant to help um, people with reading difficulty, including those with dyslexia. Um, so I thought that was a really neat project. And it kind of makes it, I think, one of the things that in one of their longer videos that I thought was pretty emotional, I think, in a way. Um, if we can get to the CES here, just at the beginning of these videos.
That's incredible. You good? Yeah, thank you. That's really nice. Yeah? Was it? I read twice as fast. Why multitasking?
I think that just shows this emotional piece to it. Certainly, I got from the reading this week of how important it is um, for everybody to start thinking of what other ways can we do things. It doesn't mean that just because you have dyslexia, you have it. We must keep pushing forward to find new ways to kind of help people that have it to, I guess, adapt, adjust. So I thought that was one of the things that I found. And there's more. I'll put the links. There's a ton of different videos. And a big thing that the inventor brought up was that oftentimes if you have something such as dyslexia or another disability, and it is hard to come up with that workaround or how to adjust, people just stop and they just give up. And when you have these creative minds coming up with new things, and something like this, it allows people to not feel like they have to give up. That it's, they can participate in society and don't feel stressed out. So that was one of them. The other one also deals again with something that my husband occasionally gets challenged with from having ADHD, or this also stems back to one of my students that was overstimulated in a restaurant on one of our study abroad trips. I think we all know typically autistic, any with neurodivergent, they can put the headphones on and it noise cancels it, but they're big and they're bulky and it's pretty evident. And I remember seeing it somewhere within CES, this idea of, and they're very tiny, little earplugs for autism. And they're adjustable to say, I want some background noise. I only want to focus on voices, to no background noise. And it really can help people adjust in multiple different areas out in society, depending where you're at. So again, just a really quick, as she's going to speak about it in the very beginning.
There's
So
evidence that autistic folks report that auditory sensitivity is the most crippling sensory issue that they experience. And headphones are often one of the most commonly used accommodations for both autistic people, ADHD folks, and just people with sensory issues. I don't often do product collaborations, but I was super interested in Loop headphones because also being autistic and having autistic children who have significant sensory issues, we need something like this. So it has this little part that has different modes on it, and then the earplug itself, and then there's different sizes. There's like extra small, small, medium, large, so you can kind of vibe out where you fit, right? They're marked right and left. So what you do is you put it in your ear. Once you get the correct one, it should look like this. Like the inside should be flat against your ear. It should not be sticking out. You should also be able to still like hear yourself. It shouldn't give you that like closed off, like underwater sensation. Otherwise it's the wrong size. So there's 3 different modes with these, which is super sick because normally like it's just headphones on you and you're done with whatever. So first mode is engage mode. It just kind of quiets things down just a little bit so it's more bearable. And while it's in your ear, you can just move this little like knob over here and it clicks and then it goes to the next mode. Experience mode is the middle one. It's like a little bit more natural, like if you're walking, city noises, things like that. And then the last one is quiet mode, which is like I need to focus mode. For me, it's like I'm going to work and get away from my kids screaming and playing the drums or whatever they're doing and like focus because sometimes I just can't otherwise. Like when you're overstimulated and you need to just put these in, or like I know I'm going to a social event and I'm just gonna like freak out. Yeah, these are incredible. I really want to try these for my younger daughter. I'm not sure if she's gonna.
So a couple things I got from that. One, they're very inconspicuous, which I thought was really kind of neat. They're barely there, but the adjustability, depending upon what situation you're on. My husband and I have been in social places where he's overwhelmed. Too many people talking. These allow you to kind of either hone in on someone's voice, block things out, but without the big bulky headphones, instead of it having to be all or nothing. The other thing I thought that was really, really great about these is, I can find it here, the price. Oftentimes, I think accessible technology and the newest, greatest invention is often expensive, which can prohibit people from even accessing these new tools. $34.95. I just thought that was really great. I think the Lexi Lens is, and I'm not sure you can even get them in the US. I don't know. They're so in euros. They're a little bit more expensive, but I think compared to some things are still at least reasonable. That's going to be what, $750, give or take. But I think both of these, certainly the earplugs are more affordable at $34.95, but even with the glasses and maybe even the screen, it still is feasible for people to get. Um, One of the questions we have to answer um, is it targeting a certain population? And I think so, obviously. I think dyslexia, it's targeting people with visual issues in terms of reading and comprehension. Um, and that can probably bridge a lot of people within the neurodivergent range. The other one with the loop ears, certainly focusing on that sensory overload, but I think that can cross the bridge too. I think that's not specifically just for people that are autistic. You can have people with ADHD, other neurological, I guess, issues with noise and the sensory um, concern. So I think it fits for many people. I'm going to include a link to both the videos and the companies in my post. This all really just relates back to a lot of what we read this week. And I think even from the textbook, it was really important. It just kept getting back to creativity. Don't just get stuck doing the same thing. Um, I think that these stories of these new innovations come from people that can actually empathize, whether or not they are dyslexic or whether or not they have auditory sensory issues. They're actually able to empathize, and they're not trying to make someone fit in. At least I don't feel like it. I think these are just other tools, other hacks. I think it was mentioned in the book, having hacks, and able to navigate every day. So those are my posts for this week. Hope you found them as interesting as I did. Thanks.